So Kelsey Plum is probably the biggest name free agent that is available. Obviously, the best one right now seems to be Satu. I honestly think that, what's her name, could be up there as well, Gabby Williams. But the biggest name is Kelsey Plum.
Did you see what just happened? Kelsey Plum, the WNBA superstar, might be on the move. The entire league is buzzing with rumors and fans are going wild. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just any trade. We're talking about a potential blockbuster deal that could change everything. Kelsey Mitchell, another top player, might be involved. Can you believe it? Two of the best guards in the game potentially swapping teams. This could shake up the whole league. Can you believe the Las Vegas Aces might actually trade Kelsey Plum? It sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing, the Aces are in a tough spot. They've got this amazing player, but they're not sure if they can keep her. And it's not just about Plum, it's about staying on top of the WNBA. So let's break it down. The Aces want to win another championship. I mean, who doesn't? But the rest of the league isn't just sitting around, they're catching up fast. And the Aces know it. Teams like the Liberty and the Lynx are looking scarier than ever. The Aces can't just sit back and hope everything works out. Now you might be thinking, but Plum's been incredible for the Aces. And you're absolutely right. Remember that game against the Liberty last season? Plum was on fire, scoring left and right. She's been a huge part of the Aces' success. But here's where it gets really interesting. Plum is said to have declined a contract extension, which has caused the Aces to spiral. You see, the Aces are in a tight spot. They need to do something big to keep up with these other strong teams. And trading Plum, well, that might be their last shot at staying championship contenders. But is it worth the risk? That's the million-dollar question. Now you might be wondering, if not Plum, then who? Well, that's where things get even crazier. The Aces can't just trade Plum for anyone. They need someone who can step up and fill those big shoes. But finding a player like that, it's not easy. And here's another wrinkle. Plum has the power to veto trades. So even if the Aces find the perfect deal, Plum might just say, nope, I'm staying put. It's like a game of chess, but with real people and real careers on the line. So what's going to happen? Will the Aces actually trade one of their biggest stars, or will they find another way to stay on top? It's like we're all watching a real-life sports movie, and we're right at that part where everything could change in an instant. All right, let's switch gears and talk about someone who's been making some serious noise in the WNBA. You've heard of Kelsey Mitchell, right? Well, she might be about to become the biggest name in the league, and you won't believe why. So the Indiana Fever have been struggling for years, but suddenly they've got something special brewing, and it's all thanks to Mitchell. You do realize Kelsey Mitchell is one spot behind Kelsey Plum, or maybe two with Diahea Fair. But still, I think, did Diahea Fair play next year? Either way, Kelsey Mitchell scored more points than Kelsey Plum last year, and she's a proven winner. Now you might be thinking, but the Fever still aren't winning championships. And you're right, something's got to give. Now you might be wondering, okay, but what makes Mitchell so special? Well, let me break it down for you. It's not just about her individual talent. It's about how she fits into the bigger picture. Remember, when the Fever drafted Caitlin Clark, everyone was excited, but no one knew exactly how it would work out. Well, guess what? When Mitchell and Clark played together last season, the Fever went 8-2 in those 10 games. That backcourt of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, with Kelsey Mitchell playing as the damn wide receiver off the ball cutter. We only saw that team for 10 games, and in those 10 games the team went 8-2 and looked like championship contenders. That is how good they were when they played Clark ball instead of Sides ball. Can you believe that they're like fire and ice on the court, complementing each other perfectly? But here's the thing, Mitchell isn't just riding Clark's coattails. She's a proven scorer in her own right. And get this, the Fever management has been talking her up big time. They're saying she's a critical part of their future plans. That's not just talk, that's a team saying we're building around this player. Now you might be thinking, okay, so Mitchell's good, but is she good enough to turn the Fever into a championship team? Well, that's the million-dollar question, because here's the thing, Mitchell's playing style is like the perfect match for Clark's. She can, and if you like the video, then subscribe to the channel. Play off the ball, cutting and scoring, making the whole team's offense flow smoother than butter. So now everyone's wondering, could Mitchell be the missing piece for a championship team? The Fever might have struck gold with Mitchell and Clark, but is that enough to make them keep Mitchell no matter what? All right, you thought you had it all figured out. Well, get ready for a trade rumor that's about to blow your mind. We're talking about a move so big it could flip the entire WNBA on its head. Are you ready to see how one player could change everything? Like, I don't think Kelsey Plum's leaving the Aces for basketball reasons, but people are still talking about this. 3 reasons why the Fever should consider the Kelsey for Kelsey trade. Yeah, you heard that right, Kelsey Plum for Kelsey Mitchell, 2 of the best guards in the game, potentially swapping teams. Can you imagine the impact this would have? Let's break it down. Kelsey Mitchell is a scoring machine. Last season, she put up even more points than Kelsey Plum. That's right, Mitchell outscored one of the league's biggest stars. So if the Aces manage to land her, they're not just getting a replacement for Plum, they're potentially upgrading their offense. It actually could. There's only one situation happens, but this is if you were at the Las Vegas Aces. You really want this to happen, because I don't think there's any way you're getting an all-star back to Plum. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Fever aren't just going to give up Mitchell for nothing. They've got this dynamic duo with Caitlin Clark now, and they're looking like serious contenders. So why would they even consider this trade? Well, what if I told you it all comes down to one thing: Mitchell's desire to stay or go. The Fever are only going to consider this trade if Mitchell says she wants out. It's a long shot, but in the WNBA, anything can happen. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, what about Plum? Doesn't she have a say in this? And you're absolutely right. Plum has the power to veto any trade. She's not just a player in this game. She's controlling her own destiny. But here's the kicker: this trade could make the Aces instant favorites again. And for the Fever, it could turn them into serious contenders overnight. Imagine Plum and Clark in the same backcourt. That's the stuff of WNBA dreams right there. Of course it's not that simple. The Aces would have to do some serious number crunching to make sure they can fit Mitchell under the salary cap. And let's not forget, both Plum and Mitchell have made it clear they're happy where they are. Plum loves competing with the Aces, and Mitchell is all in on the Fever's future. But just think about the possibilities. We've seen high-profile trades shake up the league before. Remember when Liz Cambage joined the Aces? That move changed everything, and this trade, it could be even bigger. Now you're probably thinking this all sounds too good to be true, and you might be right, because there's one big problem. Alright, you thought you knew where this trade was heading. Think again. There's one person who can turn this whole thing upside down, and it's not who you'd expect. We're talking about Kelsey Mitchell, and she's holding all the cards. Now you might be wondering, why is Mitchell so important? Well, let's break it down. The Fever have been building their future around Mitchell and Clark. They've got this dynamic duo that's been tearing it up on the court. But here's where it gets really interesting. They've got a shot at getting Kelsey Plum. Can you believe it? But hold on a second. Mitchell's been with the Fever through some tough times. She's seen the worst of it, stuck around when things were rough. And now things are finally looking up. Remember when Mitchell said she wanted to build something special in Indiana? That wasn't just talk, she meant it. You might be thinking, okay, but what's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. Mitchell's got a chance to join a championship team, to play with Aya Wilson and Jackie Young. That's like being offered a spot on the Avengers. Who wouldn't want that? But it's not that simple. Mitchell and Clark have this amazing chemistry on the court. And now Mitchell's got to decide, does she stay and keep building something special? Or does she go for the gold? The entire league is holding its breath, waiting to see what Mitchell will do. Will she ask for a trade, or will she stay loyal to the Fever? It's like we're all watching a high-stakes poker game, and Mitchell's got the winning hand. But will she play it? Here's the kicker. If Mitchell asks out, it could set off a chain reaction that changes the whole WNBA. We're talking about a move that could reshape the entire league. It's not just about one player anymore. It's about the future of women's basketball. Alright, can you believe what's happening in the WNBA right now? The entire league is holding its breath, waiting to see what goes down with Kelsey Plum and Kelsey Mitchell. This isn't just some regular trade gossip. We're talking about a move that could shake up the whole league. Now you might be thinking it's just basketball, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. This is about way more than just who's scoring points on the court. We're talking loyalty, ambition, and the future of the WNBA itself. Experts are saying that if Plum gets traded, it could totally change the game. The Aces might struggle to keep that championship crown, while the Fever could suddenly become serious contenders. But here's the kicker. The fans are going wild. Social media is blowing up with people arguing about what this could mean. Some are pumped about the possibilities, while others are worried about team chemistry. It's like everyone's playing armchair GM, trying to figure out what's best for their team. One thing's for sure, no matter what happens, the WNBA is about to get a whole lot more exciting. Are you ready for it? Thanks for watching, and subscribe my channel.